Beware the man who owns just one gun. Let's talk about this. Welcome to the Armed Citizen channel. My name is Mark, and I do this video mentorship for all armed citizens, be they new or experienced. I talk about the things that I think no one else talks about. So please, like my videos, subscribe, and share them with people of all political persuasions. Let's get into the content. All right, so you've probably heard the phrase, beware the man who only owns one gun. Why is that? Simply put, he knows that firearm intimately. He knows every nick and scratch, every quirk and idiosyncrasy, and is able to use it to its maximum effectiveness. I fully understand a gun person's need to constantly enhance your collection. Here's a meme I found that reflects that. If you don't know who these people are, or you're just listening to me, I have a 4-panel picture on the screen here. Top left is Claire, who is the companion of the 12th Doctor Who. The actor portraying this particular doctor is Peter Capaldi. Claire asks, is 4 a lot? The doctor responds in the top right image saying, it depends upon the context. Bottom left says, guns I bought this month? No. In the last panel he says, guns I bought today? Still no. Remember, we only have so much time in our lives, and the more numbers of a thing we have, the less time we get to spend with each one. Old man Solomon had 700 wives and 300 concubines. How much time do you think Solomon had with any individual wife or concubine? You know, some one-on-one time to tickle her toes and other places. Probably not much at all. I did the math. If he serviced a different wife or concubine morning, noon, and night, each one would get some Solomon time about once a year. Let's face it, unless your job is shooting guns, you will spend very little time actually shooting. Your job comes first, then the wife, then the kids, home maintenance, and so on down the list. And the more firearms we have, the less time we get to spend with any individual weapon. My advice in this case is to have a reason to get a new weapon. Not just I have spare cash in an empty slot in my safe. Let's work this out before you buy your next firearm. The first point is this new gun a want or a need? How do you tell the difference? We all need transportation. A 1999 Nissan Maxima $1,000 beater, as long as it starts up and rolls when we put it into drive, will do the job getting me from home to wherever I need to and back again. I want a $3 million Bugatti Chiron. See the difference? There's downsides to owning a Bugatti. The cost to service it is probably astronomical. I don't think I could afford an oil change, let alone tires or any kind of real repair or the insurance. And on top of that, I'm sure there would be numerous young ladies who would throw themselves at me because I own a $3 million car, and my wife will really frown on me trying to trade her in for 2 or 3 20-year-olds. Another point is to stay away from the gun magazines. The entire magazine is an advertisement. The articles themselves are advertisements trying to get you interested and wanting the new hotness. They won't mention the bad parts about a weapon, only the good stuff. The shortcomings get pretty much glossed over if mentioned. Pretty much glossed over if mentioned at all. which is why I refuse to be paid to write articles or reviews, and for sure, no live reads on this channel. Second is to have a specific purpose for this firearm. Firearms are like hammers. Home Depot has hundreds of hammers, all the way from a little 5-ounce tack driver meant to drive in finishing nails to a 20-pound sledgehammer. Each one has an intended purpose and is designed specific to that task. If I have to drive a grounding rod into the ground for my home, I'll be there quite a while with the tack hammer. That job requires a sledgehammer. I don't want to drive finishing nails into a piece of fine furniture with a sledgehammer either. And it goes on for the rest of them. I don't want to use a distressing texture hammer to do blacksmith and forge something. I really hate interrupting myself mid-tirade, but I just wanted to put in a real quick reminder to please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share it with all of your friends. That's how I grow this channel and get to more people. So, all right, back to myself. Only you can determine the purpose for the reason and how justified that reason is. Try to have your active collection rounded out before you start buying weapons under the nice to look at reason category, like Jay Leno having a car collection. Let me give an example. I have 4 ARs in my inventory. The first is my primary AR. It is kitted out with all the bells and whistles that I think are important. The second AR is my son's primary AR and my training AR. It is kitted out close, but not identical to my primary. If there's an SHTF thing going down, I have my AR and my son has his. I use it in dry fire training with my Manus Blackbeard because my primary AR has a folding stock and it has several more steps to convert it to Blackbeard use and back again. My third AR is actually an AR-10, which of course is chambered in .308. The purpose of this one is long distance calling, if you get what I mean. Because the 5.56 tends to peter out around 200 or 300 yards, the .308 can go that and a little bit more. I have red dots on the first two. This one has an LPVO on it. Being .308 caliber, I can actually take down deer and larger game if I had to than I could with a 5.56. The fourth one is a 1522 M&P, so it shoots .22 long rifle, which is a lot cheaper when I want live trigger time. 22 costs about 11 cents a round. The 5.56 costs about 60 cents a round. The next point to consider is opportunity cost. We all should, by default, purchase firearms and other controversial things in cash because with cash, it's not traceable. We've known for years that the credit card companies are keeping track of such purchases, so we should prudently avoid such kinds of attention because said information can be passed to people who don't have our best interest at heart. There is also the mental pain of using cash as well. Handing over 10 Franklins hurts you mentally and emotionally way more than just swiping a credit card. And there is an economic term called opportunity costs, which means that if you spend $1,000 on a firearm, that's $1,000 you're not going to have if something breaks, say on your spouse's car. If you had to choose, would that cash be better spent on new gun or wife can use her car? My point here is to make sure the cash you're forking over for that new gun is not your only cash. You have to have more for the unexpected stuff. It also helps you avoid the air and ramen diet until next payday. Not cool, even if you're single. Personal example. I've been eyeing a Glock 44 so I can do 22 pistol shooting and get my 19 feel. My local gun store a couple weeks ago had a tax-free weekend on all firearms. I looked at my cash. I had enough, however, I wouldn't have had a comfortable amount of cash left over if I had bought it. And considering it's only 15 or 20 cents around difference between 22 and 9, I could not justify the expenditure. Maybe next time. Another economic benefit, or another economic point is to budget 130 to 150% of the cost of the firearm. Not just to pay sales taxes and ATF fees so they don't come and shoot your puppy, but also because new gun means things like a new holster or sling or red dot, LPVO, extra magazines, and especially ammo if it's a new caliber. If you're one of those guys who have 20 ARs to arm the neighborhood for SHTF, ask yourself this: would you feel safe handing out rifles left and right to your neighbors, to people you might barely know, who might have never even held a rifle before, and you are stuck teaching them the basic operation as the rioters or zombies, same thing, are approaching? Or maybe you could form a militia where you work out together to be physically fit, practice squad tactics together, and practice together to shoot well before the balloon goes up. I'm not saying don't have 20 rifles because you have that purpose of arming the neighborhood. I'm saying don't keep them locked up and unused until the moment of panic. In closing, have a clear and stated role or purpose for every weapon in your safe. Use cash to avoid the eye of Sauron. Use cash specific for this purpose, not emergency household cash. Budget above the purchase price for accessories. Spend time with every weapon so they don't feel lonely. Y'all have yourselves a wonderful day. If you made it this far into the video, thank you. Just one last request that you like and subscribe and share with your friends, and send me some feedback on the way so I know where to go and what I might have messed up. Y'all have yourselves a wonderful day.